Just look at these people here doing absolutely mental things. They all are in amazing shape. They can do amazing things. And if we just trained our clients and ourselves 5% the same, imagine how cool that would be. What is happening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. It's the weekly news show, but we've gone through a different bit of a twist today. As you can probably see by the title, this is going to be an Winter Olympic, I'm going to say the word Olympic 17 times special, because I put up a reel, which has it's only got a few thousand. I know, I've gone far breaking the internet. The Winter Olympics, because I put up a reel just being like, oh my God, these guys are phenomenal, right? And I think you can all concur that some of the athletes, but like, I live in England, obviously. Oh yeah, who the hell am I? Tom Hall, coach, master degree in performance and sports and stuff like that. I have a coaches group that we educate, we get people better. I help coaches train their general population clients amazingly well for like athletic capabilities, looking awesome, getting jacked and moving unbelievably. If you want to find out any more, all the links to my coaching one-to-one and all the other stuff I do is down below. Anyway, right, some of those people are phenomenal, and apart from the curling, right, I live in England and there's 24/7 curling happening here because it's probably we're good at two things. In the Winter Olympics, we are good at curling. That's like the slidey one with the brute, and we're good at the skeleton, which is two ends of the spectrum of how insane people can be, and they tend to be quite posh people. Yeah, what do? Oh yeah, so I essentially slide down at 100 miles an hour on a tea tray. I thought this would be a good career choice, and we win gold all the time. It's insane. Anyway, yeah, I digress. Let's roll the tapes, show you the reel that I put up, and then we're going to go through with our good hat on. Shout out, boys, if you want to sponsor. And also, I'm part of the resistance today. Apologies. I'm normally a dark side person, as you can kind of see from what is all around. I'll give you a desk kind of show around at some point. There's a lot of Star Wars-based things here, but they're mainly dark side, and Darth Maul is the one. But we're going to have a little show around and look from a practical application of what perhaps their training looks like, maybe, but just watching, or what could they be doing in the gym? Because let's be very clear, right? I am not a specific coach in terms of I can do specific things for your sport in your gym and outside the gym and athletic populations and all this kind of running and bounds and blah, 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 all that kind of fun stuff. But I'm not a technical coach. I'm not going to make you good technically at skeleton mob. We all know that, but nevertheless. All right, let's have a little look at this reel. As you can see, I was very sharp. That's our coaches will hear my spiel, yeah?
At bodybuilding and training for aesthetics,
it still needs to do. If you're still coaching like this, just look at these people here doing absolutely mental things. They all are in amazing shape. They can do amazing things. And if we just trained our clients and ourselves 5% the same, imagine how cool that would be. Stop just training like bodybuilders. It's over. It's done. Stop.
What the hell?
Right. This is obviously, I am part of the bandwagon that I would rather see people train for doing something amazing. They get the side effect of looking absolutely class, right? None of these guys are overweight. These all got physiques to be proud of, yet they can do amazingly cool things. All right, so that's what I would like all of my athletes, all of my coaches, all of my clients to be able to do. As we speak, right now, I have 2 clients that are doing high rocks, which is obviously they're attainable, but it's a cool thing to be able to train for, and they're looking better because they trained for it, okay? So that's what we're preaching from. So we're going to break down a little bit, talk about what perhaps is involved in each of these sports, because yeah, I'm an S&C guy, biomechanics guy. Let's see what they might be doing in the gym. And we're just going to look at just the sports that we saw there, okay? Obviously there's loads of sports, but I don't know them all and none the wiser, all right? Obviously I have a lot of clients that ski, but they're all fun. All right, I've tried this. Just bear in mind this, right? Olympic skier runs a 6-minute mile uphill on skis on the snow. Just fathom that for me, okay? Most people cannot run a 6-minute mile. I would struggle, right? On the flat in the summer That's pretty quick. I think I clocked in at just under that, like last year when we were doing triathlons and stuff. Like, what the? This guy flying, man. Absolutely flying. How incredible this is. Look how fast he's going on a climb.
He's clinical and he is completely commanding. He's looking to do it once again.
Incredible, right? Let's just have a little look at that, right? So from the side on, what was his peak speed there? Like 18 kilometers an hour. Let's go run on a treadmill at 18 kilometers an hour, then just come back to me. Obviously, you're like, Tom, right? He's getting all the slide. He's going uphill, guys. He's going uphill. He's going all the slide from the skis. But to get that amount of torque, to be able to plant and go and whatever, right? So obviously, he's using this, okay? So we'd probably then be looking like, oh, he's just ski-erging all the time. But no, right? So if we broke down perhaps what he is doing in the gym, okay? Incline work, yes, definitely. I think he's doing plenty of kind of step up variations, probably some isometric hold, like step down variations. He's doing a hell of a lot of single leg work because all of his sport is on one leg, okay? It's split stance, all that kind of stuff. His gait pattern's doing that, but it's all on one leg, right? So he's doing a hell of a lot of that. Doesn't mean he's not squatting or bilaterally deadlifting or anything like that. He still needs a thick posterior chain to do all this kind of stuff, but he still needs to do that. I'm guaranteeing he's doing some hill sprints and hill runs, stuff like that within his workouts, and probably biasing pull-based rows or vertical pulls or cable pulls or stuff like that. I'd imagine that's the bias of it. He still needs to obviously chain his anterior chain, the front of him, right? But I would imagine it's like a 2-to-1, right? He's probably doing one bench press for every 2 like dumbbell rows to cable rows, okay? He's probably got that going on, maybe even 3-to-1. I don't really mind that, okay? So a fan of that kind of ratio. But let's just look at that. He's having to plant every single time, super, super hard. And even though like he's obviously set here, every single step he's having to kind of grip, hamstring, and grip and pull even more of his going uphill. What is cool about hill running, guys, all right, just in case you want to do this but just actually outside, is hill running has a little bit less kind of eccentric development, so you don't get as like you're getting absolutely screwed, but you have that kind of, it's a little bit safer and less hamstring kind of things go, because that recoverability is a little bit shorter because you have to step on something that's higher, okay? So big fan hill runs or hill sprints, whatever you want to do. I'm just in awe, man. It's so cool. And then like aerobic work, he'll be doing just a whole spectrum of it, right? The fact is that a lot of it, he'll be doing a lot of aerobic work on his skis. That's probably the main thing. Similar to how we might set out a run. I'm unsure on what the distance they're covering. Let's call it 10K, right? So let's call that like a 10K kind of race. I'm assuming they go quicker than runners. I'm assuming that. I probably should have done my research, Tom. But we're going to be looking at basically putting that throughout the week. Say he does 4 skis a week. He's going to be doing, depending on what phase he's in, we could do a quick one, like a VO2 run, like 30 seconds hard, 30 seconds off. Do that 10 times, repeat it 2 to 3 times. That's like a 45-minute to an hour session, perhaps. That's like quicker than the pace that he's going there. That would be on the hill runs as well. Then he's probably doing like long ones, just sticking at like one. Look at the heart rate data, maybe in recoverability. Maybe his heart rate just sticks at 125 to 140. And then somewhere in the middle, he's probably having 2 recoveries in there, okay? But those will change based off the season and the stuff that he's in.
That's completely commanding. He's looking to do it once again.
So cool. I gave it a little like. Right, next one, Johnson and C. Right, I prepared these 2 videos together because I did it on purpose, right? So this next one, there we go, kind of tells you what's happening, literally. Amazing. All right, so I think we can probably guess. I don't even need to zoom in, right? Look how developed these guys' butts and legs are. Right? Bobsled are jacked as hell, right? If you want to look at any athletes within the Winter Olympics, these guys and girls are the biggest, okay? Probably followed by the sprint skaters. Those guys are jacked as well, but these guys are the big kind of units of the Winter Olympics, okay? So majority, quite a lot of these, especially in the British team. I do know this for a fact because there's a 41-year-old guy called Ben who I like his stuff, and there's a girl called Ashley Nelson who are ex-British sprinters at like 60s, 100s, 400 meters. So they have the fast twitch nature, and then they're learning the development of skill of whatever they're doing, okay? Because they're fit, I'm going to say probably, I don't know, obviously the pilot is like the key cog guy in here, but driving the thing, cool. Behind it, it seems it might be lower skill and very athletic based, right? So I would hazard a guess that all of these people train for explosivity, literally, right? So that bit lasted 3.6 seconds. Cool. They're doing 40-yard dash training, okay? That's their thing. They have to be rapid at creating torque, being able to push down, grip, and fly off. They're going to have amazing rhythm. They're going to be doing plyos. They're going to be doing Olympic lifts. They're going to be doing heavy squat patterns. They're going to be training for power, loaded jumps, all that kind of fun stuff. If you haven't gone and watched some of my videos on me breaking down like Sydney McLaughlin, okay, I did a video on that. She's pretty rapid athlete. She'd be pretty good at this. Then go watch that, and it's probably developing some of that training in there would be pretty cool, right? Legit, right? Because this kind of shows it as well. And then you kind of, so this is definitely just, it's out of track, right? And it's probably in a winter kind of setting, but they built this track. They've got spikes on. I think they have spikes on for the ice as well. And she is doing essentially what would be her 40-yard dash, pushing the sled work, okay? So when we're doing like acceleration work, we'll be doing like falling starts, 2-point starts, 3-point starts. We do med ball into runs and chucks, right? So it's all about horizontal force. The majority of their kind of jump work will be either counter movement jumps, squat jumps, and broad jumps are probably the biggest things they do, and variations of those factors, okay? So they're looking for as much explosivity out of a block as much as possible, right? These are the guys that will excel at 60 meters. Cool. Like I was about to say Seamus Coleman, the Everton right back. I think it's Chris Coleman, that kind of guy. I think he's a world record holder, or like Su Bing Tan, those kind of guys. Olympic lifters are going to be very good at this, okay? So that's what they're going to be generating, a lot of force, a lot of power very quickly. Probably not as elastic as some of those guys, but very quick and high turnover to grade that, okay? Usain Bolt would not be the best at this. He'd be absolutely phenomenal, but I would pick Su Bing Tan or Chris Coleman, okay? Because you get what they're littler, they're able to push, they've got better center mass for kind of the leverage of pushing this along, okay? And what they do in the gym, like glute development, quad development, that high turnover, quick stuff, step ups, powers, all that kind of fun stuff. Really cool. Really, really, really cool. All right. This is the stuff, all right, where I'm going to be a fish out of it. It's incredible. I can only hazard a guess, okay, what he's doing in the gym. All right. To be able to do that, all right, is insane, okay? The only thing that I can give you guys from my knowledge hat is for that to happen, he has to have really good eccentric absorption within tendons, okay? So when you jump down from something, when you land, you're absorbing force because that ice is rock solid, right? So he's got to absorb his ankle, his kind of chain from kind of whatever patella tendon. He's going from his dorsiflexion. He's going to have dorsiflexion. His tendon, the Achilles tendon in the back of his ankle, his foot, his leg, is going to have to absorb a load of force, and he's going to have to kind of convert that into energy to make him go off, right? To make him stop from just crumbling and breaking his leg. You've got to get that equal and opposite force that he's been able to land onto, and it's going to absorb into tendons and into musculature to be able to either be reused or just brace and dissipate, okay? So that's, I think, with my S&C hat on, I believe this would be a lot of technical stuff, a lot of just conditioning. He's not doing a lot of conditioning because I'd imagine the skating itself would be his conditioning, if I'm really honest. But he's got to stay pretty slim. He's got to play pretty slender. He probably doesn't want to be too bulky. So I'd imagine he's not doing much hypertrophy work, whereas the other guys were doing that en masse. Maybe doing majority kind of plyometric, low load plyometrics or low load power work, and then just general kind of general boring strength work, okay? And that'll be like, that's it in the gym, right? He's going to be doing the majority of that probably on the floor. I would say almost training like gymnasts, perhaps, but less musculature, okay? Because this is definitely an art, as well as like to do that, right? To land in that position on one leg, just try and jump, go away, jump up and down on one leg, right? Jump from 2 legs onto one, and just tell me how that feels to absorb that force in that leg, all right? So that's what they've got to train and try and do. Cool. Right, let's move on. Right, these ones are going to be cool, right? Because it's very, very, very similar in the gym, but this kind of stuff is happening, right? So loads of isometric contractions. Cool, because the ability to hold that kind of these positions, you kind of know if you've been skiing or if you've gone in any kind of snowboarding effects and downhill stuff, you're in a little squat position, that base position, a hell of a lot. So extensive isometrics would be something that I would basically give you. Cool. So again, with the amount of force that they've got to create, like this stuff, you're training like gymnastics and kind of tumbles and stuff like that. They're doing plyometrics, they're doing pogos, they're doing kind of springy snap landings, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So they're dipping into the med ball throws. They're doing all that kind of good stuff. Probably again, not overloading on bulk. They're doing normal strength work, which doesn't lead their plans. But after that, they're doing bounds, they're doing big counter movement jumps, they're doing isometric holds, mainly lower body stuff, just to become, one, a little bit more muscular endurance and have like thicker tendons so they can brace, and then 2, be able to adapt with eccentric and concentric forces. That's the up bit and the down bit. They're able to take in that energy. Okay. Right, really, really, really cool. And I think the last one, which I threw in here, but don't really know much about it. I think this is she's an absolutely incredible athlete. I believe she's dating the boxing man, who's the YouTubey boy. Can't remember his name now, forgive me. These are really cool. I'd imagine, right? So that start is very sprinty. So they have to create a lot of power from this position, and they're also spreading, they're low, so let's do some iso work. Sure, they've got to have some thoracic stability to be able to do that. Their arms have got to be pretty powerful because they've got this counter motion that's happening. They've got to drive through their legs, so that's kind of happening. But once they're up and running, I would say ankle stability, really, 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 really big. That flexion to be able to hold that position, really, really, really big. But then after that, I think it's sequencing work. I think they have to be really, really, right, obviously all of these guys, like the skiers and stuff, they have to be really coordinated. So I think that might be something that they may do. So sequencing, right, A skips, B skips, that kind of thing. So they're able to do stuff that like all the muscle works with the tendon, and you get that kind of impulse of like, oh, the ground reaction, everything's like smooth. Like smooth is like slow and smooth is fast. Okay, it looks fast. They're going insanely quick. Doesn't look it, but yeah, absolutely insane. So I'd imagine some sequencing work would be probably put into their plans. But again, more than likely, it's just practice on the ice. Let's be honest. Okay, that's it. All right, I hope I broke that down for you. I hope you made that face throughout. Let's pick up another thing. Boom. I think that fits the channel. Giant glutes, absolutely fantastic. All right, I've got some fun stuff lined up in the next couple of weeks as well, guys, which is really cool. I've recently found a new sport, not for myself, but it's absolutely insane. It's called Run Nation, and watch out for a video on that next week because it blew my mind. Like, subscribe, do all those fun things, share this if you've had fun, if you learned anything, and yeah, go watch the Winter Olympics. Those guys are insane.